Good morning, everyone. Welcome to episode number 57 of the Project 2020 show. If you were looking for a casual Tuesday, we are having the exact opposite. There is a Mike Trout card releasing, and it's being released by Trout. Also, if you were missing Ermsy, we have Ermsy again with his Rickey Henderson. This is an all-star pairing on this Tuesday. We also now have seen the first pre-order numbers for the Monday cards and where are those cards going to land. All that and more in 1 second. Welcome back to my channel, and thank you for clicking on that thumbnail. I greatly appreciate it. My name is Chris. You can reach me on Twitter and Instagram at CRT_sportscards, and the website for all of your Project 2020 news and notes is CRTsportscards.com. It's Tuesday morning. What have we learned so far this week? Not much. And on Tuesdays, it kind of feels like that in-between day where we now have seen 4 cards. We only have a couple of numbers for pre-order data. We haven't seen a single print run yet. So it's kind of like setting the table for the week. And these cards today are really going to set the table. We have the Fine China out. We have 2 artists, or 2 players actually, that are doing very well at Project 2020. And we have 1 of 2 artists that are doing very well also. At the same time, we have an artist that could pick up steam. And when you think of Project 2020, you think of getting to card 200, 250, 300. When you start to see these artists and recognized artists that are selling lower but have not done a top tier name, what does that mean for their potential values as we move forward in this project? For example, Trout today. Trout has not really done a high name player. He has done a couple of the older players, and today he's releasing his Mike Trout. Will we see growth from his cards specifically in the future? Who knows? We're going to find out. But when you think of people sort of still discovering artists as we go through this, it's going to be interesting to see what happens to their values. And it's also a question that I want to pose to everyone who is listening right now and watching. How do you prefer your data? Now, right now what I have is I have first player, second player, and then I have the Forgotten 7. I have seen more and more requests for first and second artist pricing. The reason why I have not done that is it doesn't really work the same as far as first player, second player. For example, Ben Baller, his first 2 cards are first player cards, so it's not exactly an equal comparison. But I'm wondering if you'd prefer to see first and second player pricing or first and second artist pricing. I think when you look at the Forgotten 7 and you look at first and second player, it's all there. It's just sort of not in the same order. So I'm curious, what would you prefer to see? My whole key here is to keep the data. I want to keep the data growing. I don't want it to become stale. I don't want people to just sort of pass over the information. So would you prefer to see first and second player as it is, or would you prefer to see first and second artist rankings as we move forward through card 200 to 250? And then also speaking on new fans coming into Project 2020, we always need new fans coming in and new collectors. And with baseball just 3 days away from starting up again, I think there's a potential for a new influx of people coming in. And that is why I released last night at around 9:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time the Week 17 companion video. This is something I'm going to be doing going forward. Hopefully Topps can get us print runs on Sunday afternoons so that I can add in this data and then put the video out on Sundays. But this is a video for the casual fan. This is the video for someone who wants to learn more about Project 2020. It also gives you the ability to, if anyone asks you about Project 2020, you can then share this video, because all this video is, it's talking about the 10 cards. I have cut out every section from the past 5 videos where I've talked about the cards that get released, put them in order Monday through Friday, but then at the beginning of the video, I do go in rank order 1 through 10 as far as where the cards landed for the week, and then I go through the video. So it's just a quick video. I say it's quick, it's like 20 minutes because of the content, of how the content broke out, but it's a great way to give somebody a taste of Project 2020 without getting into an actual show, because the shows at times get deep with eBay penetrations and things like that. So this is just an easy way for a casual fan to jump in, look at the cards, because hopefully they'll see a card who they like, and then they start making purchases and they join our economy, and then maybe they become a regular show watcher. So this is sort of the intro show to the actual Monday through Saturday shows. Now, shifting our focus over to the cards that were released today, my second favorite card today is going to be this Rickey Henderson by Ermsy. But before we talk about Rickey Henderson and Ermsy, I did want to do a collector showcase highlight, and this comes to us from John Park. And by the way, Thank you to everyone who sent me photos. I'm going to continue to use these as every show goes forward. And if you have a collection you want to show off for the show, whether it be the cards for today or in general, please send me them on Twitter, Instagram, or email at chris@crtsportscards.com. But when you take a look here, you've got John Park with all 4 Fucci cards that have been released so far. Cal Ripken, Ted Williams, the Mike Trout, and then recently with the most live card, which is the King of the Hill, Sandy Koufax. So great to see Fucci's collection coming together. Obviously, no faces, his choice for being anonymous overall. But this is just a great collection, and thank you, John, for sending this over. Now, taking a look at this Rickey Henderson by Ermsy, what does this card say? It says Ermsy. This is what you expect from an Ermsy design, and it's just another great card from an artist who, when we first saw him, we were confused, and now he really has the eye of the collector when it comes to Project 2020. This card's going to print high. I think that there's no two ways around it. This card will print high. Is the resale value going to be there right now in the near future? Probably not, but we will find out. But let's take a look at Ermsy and now Rickey Henderson so far through Project 2020. So this is Ermsy's 10th card. This will be the first artist with 10 cards in this set. We saw him most recently last week with his Tony Gwynn, and then after that it was the Sandy Koufax. When you look at print runs from Ermsy, his Derek Jeter is his highest at 24,908, and his lowest printed card is that Dwight Gooden, which is part of the Forgotten Seven, at just 1,864. And now taking a look at Rickey Henderson, this will be Rickey Henderson's 9th card in this set. We saw him recently with the Mr. Cartoon, and then before that we saw him from Sophia Chang with the Rickey Henderson, otherwise known as Rickey Henderson. From a print run perspective, this one's surprising when you think of how high the print runs were at one point in the set. His highest printed card is a bin baller, but it's only 15,741. And his lowest printed card is probably what you would consider his most boring card, maybe next to his Rochester, but it's that Joshua Vides at just 1,221. That was his very first card off the blocks. Now, when you ask me, what are my favorites right now? When it comes to Ermsy, it is that Ted Williams. I did pick up a copy of Ted Williams a couple of days ago. Instead of me chasing a bundle of 5 Sandy Koufax, I decided to spend that money on the Ermsy card for Ted Williams. So I felt that was a very good exchange when it came to buying something I want. And then on Rickey Henderson, there's 2 cards I really like, but number 1, very clearly, it's going to be this Matt Taylor, the second card out for Rickey Henderson. I think that's a great card. And then I do really like his recent Mr. Cartoon. I know there are people out there who are not a fan of Mr. Cartoon cards because they're so different, but I think that's the beauty of this project. But right now, Matt Taylor and Mr. Cartoon have my attention on Rickey Henderson. If you're liking this video so far and you're not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button because I put out a video 6 out of the 7 days of the week around Project 2020, and it's the best way for you to stay informed around this epic set. Now, as we take a look at the market yesterday, what happened on Monday, and I will say, I know that eBay is the biggest. It's not where you can only sell Project 2020 cards, but it's the place I can get the easiest data the quickest. And it also gives us it's a barometer of what's happening out there, because if something is not spiking on eBay, it's not going to spike anywhere else, because any new person coming into the set is going to gravitate to eBay first, and then they're going to learn about the Facebook group or StockX or ComC, whatever that could be. So eBay, for me, is still going to be the number 1 judge of where the market is. And when you take a look at the chart yesterday, just from a volume perspective, what you're seeing on the screen is the volume of sales per day. And I get it, it's very messy. This is on the website. But yesterday, 726 cards sold on eBay, a little bit of an uptick, 644. The key here is these last 4 days have been the lowest volume that I have seen since I've been recording this since the beginning of May. So we are seeing a shift in the market. You know, it is surprising to see though, just because of the fact that there are so many cards now out there. You know, I just received my Sandy Koufax Natural. That's got 43,000 copies. You have the Griffey. I spoke about a month ago on the Surge is coming. We're not seeing that volume uptick on eBay. So what is that? Is that because people are moving over to Facebook, to StockX? It's interesting to see. So when you take a look at the website and you see first player cards, second player cards, and the Forgotten Seven not selling maybe for a day or two, I wouldn't be too alarmed. It's probably because the sales are happening on other websites, because you can go onto the Facebook group right now and you can see you can make a sale basically any day of the week or any hour of the day. And then just quickly touching on the Forgotten 7 yesterday, 3 cards didn't sell, but 4 cards did. The Ichiro JK5 up 13%, up to 257 now. And then the George Brett Tyson back, 134. So that, of course, is the highest printed card in the 1000s. And to me, at 135, it's still a really good deal when you think of the long-term potential of the set in cards under 2,000. And now let's get to the best card of the day, which is this Natural by Mike Trout. And look, I am biased. I love Natural's cards. It's my second favorite, just behind Grotesque. And it's only because I fell in love with Natural's cards after Grotesque. So Grotesque is my first love of Project 2020. But you have the triangles, you have the number 3, you've got Mike Trout. It's everything you want in a card from Natural. And Mike Trout is the best selling player in this set. And this is a card that could potentially make Natural's prices, especially as first couple cards, rise, because Natural has gotten lost in the shuffle. People don't really know who Natural is. So let's take a look at Natural's progress so far, and then let's look at Mike Trout. So this is Natural's 9th card, and you've heard me talk about him enough and show his cards off. He has a very interesting story when it comes to print runs. He has card 89. That's right after the Griffey. That's Sandy Koufax, 43-147. But here's the kicker. His next highest card is Frank Thomas at just 6,763. And then, of course, is Jackie Robinson's lowest at 1,302. So there is potential here for Natural as an artist to be extremely short printed and for his values to go up, because there's not a lot of cards of his out there. And now taking a look at Mike Trout himself, this is Mike Trout's 9th card. Everybody knows about Mike Trout. Everybody knows about, Project 2020 card 51. That is the bin baller card. But from a print run perspective, Mike Trout's biggest card is the Blake Jameson bin baller collaboration, 74,862. And then his lowest card is Ermsy, which is just 2,911. And now when you look at the favorites, in my perspective, on Natural, it is going to be the Jackie Robinson. I just absolutely love the red background, and it's card number 1 for Natural. And then on Mike Trout, it's close here. I really like the Sophia Chang, and now having a Natural card. Until I see Natural in hand, it's going to be Sophia Chang, but it's going to be 1A and 1B on these 2 cards for Mike Trout. And now when it comes to our second showcase of the day from the collector group out there, this photo comes to us from Kevin Jones, and thank you, Kevin, for sending this over. This is a great compilation here. You not only have Sophia Chang, you have Grotesque, you have Gregory Siff, who has grown on me as an artist overall, and he has every single card so far that's out. That's just a great collection to have. And so, Kevin, thank you for sending this over. So now we take a look at the Monday cards on their 24-hour reservations. The Cal Ripken, what am I talking about? The Nolan Ryan came in at 72 pre-orders, which is higher than every single card last week, which is surprising to see, but it means that people are warming up to Sophia Chang's cards overall. And then on the Willie Mays, just 31 pre-orders on that card, very low. Again, these numbers could be a little bit lower than the overall market just because of the fact that people are ordering on Wheeler's website and now Twins Jake versus eBay. But what does 31 and 72 mean for a 48-hour target and then a print run target? So I took a look back at the players' eBay penetration. I took a look back at other cards in that range of 30 and then 70 and came up with these 2 targets. On the Willie Mays, I'm looking right now at a 1.3 eBay penetration. Typically speaking, on cards in the 30s, we're seeing a 1.2% eBay penetration, and Willie Mays is seeing 1.4. So I'm going to go with 1.3, cut it right in the middle. So with a 50 pre-order target after 48 hours, I'm looking right now for Willie Mays at 3.2 to 3.99. Everything tells us right now that this card is not going to get over 4,000. I don't think it's going to be the new floor. I don't think it gets under 3.1, but right now it's trending to be right there in the middle at 3.5, and that's okay. That's right now a comfortable range for some of these cards that are not highly sought after from the artist's perspective. Now, when you look at Sophia Chang and the Nolan Ryan, so when you look at cards in the 70 group, there are 9 cards after 24 hours, and their typical eBay penetration is 1.5 when it comes to 48-hour reserves versus their print run, and then Nolan Ryan's is 1.7. So what I'm gonna do here is split the difference and go, okay, Nolan Ryan's gonna have a 1.6% eBay penetration. He's gonna have 115 reserves after 48 hours, and when you think about 1.6 and 115 reserves, we're looking at 6.25 to 7.25. This card, just like the Rickey Henderson and just like the Mike Trout, are gonna be up there. We will see though. We'll see what happens after I put out these projections to see what happens on day number 2. But most of these cards, when you have 30 pre-orders and 70, act the same way after the second day and then on their print runs. But we will find out. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you want more news and notes from me about Project 2020, please check out that playlist on the screen right now.